Let's say you have a project, Project X. This project costs 40 to do. 40 what? 40 whatever. It costs 40. You have 8 people. If each person were to pay equal shares, each person would have to pay 5. Just pretend these are equal slices. So we have 8 people. It costs 40, so that's 5 per person if everyone paid. Each person is only willing to pay a certain amount. They are willing to pay 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 respectively for Project X. They take a vote on whether to pay for Project X, and the results are as follows. Thus, Project X passes, and the people who weren't willing to pay are forced to pay for it. They have been marginalized. However, on a free market, Project X would never come to be. First off, these 3 people wouldn't pay, as there's no armed gunmen to violently enforce the election results on them. So what you're left with is 5 people. The cost of Project X is still 40, but it now costs 8 per person, resulting in these 3 no longer willing to pay for it, and as a result, 3 more drop out. By round 3 you only have 2 left, but the cost is still 40, so that's 20 per person, and so even the hardcore supporters of Project X balk. Thus, Project X cannot be sustained on a free market. This is why violence must be used at the margin, lest cascading secession occur as described in this video. This is the marginal state. However, secession would be good for the hardliners as well. If the hardliners secede, they can implement Project Y, which is just like Project X, only smaller, just for them. You have 5 people, the people willing to pay 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, the cost is 25, which makes the cost per person 5, and so everyone is willing to pay. The other guys who don't want to pay for Project X don't pay. Now, this does not satisfy 2 other less noble motives. If the hardliners want to violently enforce their will upon the minority, they will demand democracy and the marginal state. That is what democracy is for. It's to force minorities into programs they don't want to be in. Democracy is primitive, barbaric, and the social organization of choice for authoritarians and tyrants. Another motive secession does not satisfy is if there is variable payment. That is, one may want to use the state to seize property of one person and give it to another. He's not interested in some equal input project, but in using the state to seize the assets of another person. He wants to use the state to do his mugging for him. But if one's motives are benign, you have nothing to fear from a free market.